Okay, welcome everybody to today. It's Tuesday, December the 12th. I can't believe we're heading up to Christmas very, very fast. And I feel like I've been in a dark tunnel away from you all in the UK in the freezing cold. So I put up this backdrop, live life one day at a time with a smile. Because when you're wearing 3 layers and it's very cold, you have to smile more. And I think I got a cold though. But I'm just traveling out a couple of days. I'm in Temecula, and that's maybe why I have a different backdrop. It's delightful to see you all. I've missed you all. And it's actually really good to be back in the USA. I say that with love because often I feel that I miss the UK so much. I want to be there. But actually, I decided this time it's definitely not the right time to go to see it in the winter because it's just too cold. And Las Vegas is somewhat warmer. And this time of the year, it's perfect because it's not 117 degrees. It's actually a realistic and good temperature. So just to start with, welcome, Dr. Raju. We will announce you in a moment as a speaker. But I just wanted to firstly congratulate Patty and Aaron in organizing the donations of clothes and toys that are going to go to Ukraine. And I'd love to have a little word from you. Patty, let's start with you as President-elect. My message today is behind me. So live life one day at a time with a smile. I'm going to pass it over to Patty. Just tell us a little bit about the project with donations.
Well, sure. Well, I'm assisting really. Aaron's the one who's taking lead on this project, and I'm assisting Aaron. But as president-elect, I'll be happy to jump right in there on this charity project. We're calling it Dare to Spare, and we're starting off with games that will encourage, mindful thinking, and also fun for children and clothing for these orphans, because a lot of children lost their parents. Some only lost their fathers. Nonetheless, it's difficult times, and we want to start by paying it forward with this charity campaign inspired by Aaron Myers, and he's taking the lead. I'm assisting, and we're getting it off the ground, and we're really excited about that. And I want to share that this also inspired me to create, we're coming into a new year, not a Rotary year, but a new calendar year. And everybody says, oh, what's the word of the year for you? And my word of the year moving for 2024 is care. And it really is inspired from a project like this. Care is going to be my focus word of the year. So back to you, Dr. Pauline, and thank you.
Thank you. And I want to congratulate Aaron on bringing this project to light. I think it's absolutely wonderful. I wish I had collected all the toys that I ever children long time ago. But Aaron, what is your one word for 2024?
One word for 2024. I guess it would be love.
What was that one?
Love. Can you hear me?
Love. Well,
yeah,
that's
good. Luvian means love in ancient Latin.
Excellent. Fantastic.
That coincides.
So just before, thank you so much. And I really want to appreciate everybody who so far also has paid their Rotary dues. We are at the time of the Rotary calendar year, where our 6-month Rotary dues. And I have to say, I did get up early this morning and pay mine because I didn't want to come on and not have paid mine. So Marty, I paid mine. And I think it's really important that we persuade everybody who has been a member and is still a member to pay and to understand what we're doing for this year and next year. One word, mine is always harmony, which for me comes with a smile. And I think that if we do meet again in this month, and Ritu and I were just discussing that the next 4th Tuesday is actually the day after Christmas Day. So we weren't sure that it was a good day for a meeting, but I'd love to know anybody else's view on that. And whether we have a sort of fun gathering, maybe we explore what our one words for 2024 are. Now, I don't know what happens in America on the 26th of December. In England, it's called Boxing Day. Did you all know that? So Boxing Day, Boxing Day is the day after Christmas Day, and it's a public holiday. Everybody's still eating turkey, and it's those who hunt go and hunt. I'm not into hunting myself, but the fox and hounds come out, and that is a very traditional British thing to do. So I'm not sure what happens on December the 26th in America. Ritu said it's another shopping day. I think we'll take a look, a poll maybe on our WhatsApp and see whether or not we meet sometime that week and have a, maybe between Christmas and New Year, put your thinking caps on as to whether we have a quick, fun Zoom meeting and discuss what our one word for 2024 is. Now, Dr. Mike's joined us and he did have his hand up. Mike, Dr. Mike, did you need?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Pauline. I just want to mention in the past when other clubs that I've been a member of and their meeting falls on a holiday, like in Florida, their meeting was on a Thursday, which is Thanksgiving. So what they usually do is just postpone and then pick up on the next calendar week, as they say, and then they resume business as usual.
Okay, so I think maybe in consideration of it being the day after Christmas Day, we don't have our regular meeting, but I may just open up a Zoom on some day of the week, and anybody who wants to pop in can do, and we won't necessarily have it as an official meeting. Would that be okay with everybody?
How about
Yeah,
a holiday party for our club, and we could just all come in like we did with Marty, and we had a Hawaiian theme. Marty, do you want to expand on that? Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
I remember. Yeah, that's exactly what last year was. It was the luau themed Zoom chat.
Yeah, and we had a dance off. We were dancing
There you go.
on Zoom.
So
Patty won.
bring a glass
There's
of wine.
still people
Oh yeah, we had
crying and
games.
sending me letters
had
about
games.
nightmarish dreams watching me dance. How horrible it was.
Well, we'll have a sing along dance. Okay. Now then, I think those were the items that I wanted to talk about. The gathering of for Ukraine and also our Rotary dues, and also some idea of some fun party towards the end of the year. But if it's okay with everybody, and welcome, I see Dr. Mike is on the screen as well. That's lovely to see you. And I was just going to check with Ritu whether or not it's 10 minutes past the hour, whether you're able to join us to do the introduction. Can you let me know, Ritu? Okay, I'm not sure whether, so Ritu said she had a, because she's actually in her business office. So in fact, I'm going to introduce Dr. Raju, if I can. And I won't take too long because I think it's always very good for a speaker to be able to share your own story straight away. So if that's okay with you, I'm very, very interested to hear more about your amazing work and helping people to see, understand themselves in any guise, whether we are of sight or not of sight, is so important, understanding the human condition. So over to you, Dr. Raju. Welcome to our meeting. We'll give you about 20 minutes, and then I'm sure there are going to be lots of questions. So over to you.
Very good. Thank you. And I'm very glad to be here amongst all of you. Anytime during my do the slides ready, they wanted somebody to project there. During my talk, if something is not clear, you could not understand or not hearing, just to stop me. I am pretty flexible. That's why nobody can bend me out of shape.
So do you have some slides you're going to show?
Yeah, I think I sent them already. Ritu said somebody is going to project from there.
Ritu?
Yeah.
I had shared with Ishtiaq, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it's there. Dr. Raju, are you able to share from your machine?
No, that's why we sent it there. That I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me, Dr. Pauline, if you give me the presentation rights, I have the slide deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got the rights to use it.
Okay. All right. So I could give me just a moment to get my desktop ready.
Yeah, and while we're doing that, I have the introduction for Dr. Raju to give
Oh, yes,
Ritu
thank
some
you.
time. I do not see Istiak here right now, but thank you for that wonderful message from Quanta. So Dr. Raju, it's my great pleasure as the immediate past president to welcome you. He is a highly acclaimed ophthalmologist and clinical professor who has dedicated his life to eliminating childhood blindness in India and beyond. As the founder of the Eye Foundation of America, he has established 2 eye institutes in India and has expanded the organization's reach to over 25 countries. His efforts have resulted in millions of patients being screened and hundreds of thousands of surgeries performed. Dr. Raju's work has been recognized through numerous prestigious awards, including the AMA Foundation Nathan Davis Excellence in Medicine International Award and the President's Lifetime Achievement Award from President Barack Obama. I found that to be very, very impressive. Medscape has also acknowledged him as one of the best doctors in America. And Dr. Raju, it is a great pleasure to have you here and share your insights and experiences on retinopathy of prematurity, which was a bit beyond me to understand exactly what that was all about. So I was truly looking to come together and learn from you today. I found this to be one of the more interesting presentations we may have ever had. So without further ado, Dr. Raju.
Okay, Dr. Raju, Dr. Pauline, I'm going to share my screen.
Sure.
And please let me know if you are able to see it.
Excellent. I do.
Okay.
Well, that was one of the best introductions I had. Short and sweet. I'm very pleased with that introduction. It's very clear. And he said about retinopathy of prematurity. You know, until 50s, 1950, premature babies used to die. Then the neonatal care, neonatal units came. They're all surviving. In a neonatal care, one of the most important things they do is giving a lot of oxygen. And the infants used to survive, but they used to be blind because of too much of oxygen. People ask a question, how could oxygen be toxic? How could oxygen be bad? Anything too much is bad. Anything which is not in moderation is bad. That comes from ancient Ayurvedic medicine of India. 10,000 years ago, before the construction of the pyramids, it is said everything in moderation, including oxygen. So, when the neonatal care came, people realized that we are giving too much oxygen, but it went on decades in arguments. Somebody used to question, how can you say oxygen is bad? But they proved beyond doubt. So, ROP, if there's too much oxygen is given to the premature babies, they develop blindness because retinopathy. Retinopathy means disease of a retina, the back of the eye, is the retina is like a film of a camera. They bleed. The bleeding leads to inflammation. Inflammation leads to pull on the retina, and the retina is detached. They become blind. But today, by catching them early, we can almost completely 100% prevent the retinopathy prematurity. 13 million babies are born prematurely in this world. 3.5 million in India. We have a major program in India, Nepal, and we are going to introduce soon in Egypt too. So the premature baby, the blood vessels are not mature, so they can bleed. So the oxygen giving can lead to more leaking of the blood vessels, but there's a pathological process, among the doctors. They argued for 2 to 3 decades before they came to a conclusion. Next slide, please. Yeah. In India, 27 million live births, 9% are born less than 200 grams. Lack of quality and standardization of neonatal care, but it's all getting better and better. This is a few years ago slide, but things are getting better and better, especially the Rotarians helping the Eye Foundation of America for the last 40 plus years. I've been working with the Rotarians. Then I became a member too. And majority of the population in rural areas. It's amazing, even in the United States, 60% of people live in rural areas, but even in rural areas, the accessibility and affordability is far superior than other countries. India, here I wanted to mention, it is a highly developed country with a developing country problem still. India sent a mission to Mars in the first attempt. No country could do it. Yet, if you go to the rural, semi-rural areas, it is such a developing country, but things are happening and changing tremendously. Next. This is how it happens. Premature baby is born. The blood vessels are not developed. We give a lot of oxygen. Then the oxygen, too much oxygen, makes those blood vessels irritable, and they become more and more blood vessels, and they start bleeding. Next. It is not only premature baby, even if the mature baby is born, but if the birth weight is poor, we'll call them premature babies. Next. Most important thing here is screening of these babies. There is no need to have a doctor there. We have been doing for the last 7+ years in rural Andhra Pradesh, one of the states in South India. That is the program started with the 2 technicians, 4 cameras, 2 vans. Whenever the premature baby is born, the neonatal care or the hospital will give us a call. Our team is ready to go and screen the baby. It is so simple to do it. There is a camera. You take a picture. The picture is sent to our base hospital, Gautami Eye Institute. Our retinal specialist looks at the retina, says, no problem, this baby can leave the neonatal care, no problem of ROP. Whereas another group says, hey, this is a suspicion here. We would like to see this baby in 1 to 2 weeks at the base hospital. Number 3, already problem is happening. This baby should be seen within the next 2 to 3 days at the base hospital. So in that category, when they come to the hospital, they need only 1 injection of a medication into the eye, or a 10 to 15 minutes of laser surgery. With a laser, we stop that bleeding. It's incredible. This is one of the most cost-effective health intervention in the world. A single injection. 15 years ago, such an injection did not exist. We could not do much. We used to do different things, but it did not work. And 80% of the people, and about 15, 16 years ago, this medication did not exist. This is the actual injection, and the lasers came. That procedure, one injection, or a 15-minute procedure of laser procedure, can give 75 years of productive life, priceless. So these are the details you don't need to really know. I just said about the cost-effective procedure, and it has to be done. That period when before the baby leaves the neonatal unit, we have to decide when the baby should be seen. Otherwise, if it is lost, if the bleeding occurs, retinal detachment occurs, then they need multiple procedures with very little effect. So it is the same question of prevention. Next slide, please. So this is how it looks when the baby was born, when we are taking the picture. Abnormal, I don't want to go into the details, but you can see the picture. But in the last fifth picture, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth picture, this eye is irreversible blindness. There's nothing we can do. Next. This is our surgeon, is a specialist, the technician, and I am watching there. Next. This requires a lot of collaboration. There is a beautiful book was written about 6-7 years ago from Emory University. This is called Real Collaboration. Is a book, How to Succeed in Global Health. Of course, Rotarians did one of the most, not one, probably the project of the last year, prevention of eradication of polio. How did they do it? 28 years. Worked with multiple organizations. Rotary International did it. How could you do it? They did it because they brought three things together: political will, professional will, and people's will. The three combined, no polio on the planet. Anything can happen. We can do it. Today's resources and today's technology, including ROP. So this is maternity hospital in one of the areas where we cover. Our technicians and the two vans, they travel quite a bit. Next. That's a truly coordination. And here is a technician and his assistant in the neonatal care is taking that white-looking thing, standing with a tube, is the retinal camera. It is a camera, and the baby, we put a couple of drops. It doesn't hurt the baby. No anesthesia, just an anesthetic drop, and put the camera on the eyeball, and you will watch that picture. You can see that there is a screen and red. That is the picture of the retina, the back of the eye. And he will alter the camera. When the picture is good, he will send it to the base hospital. Telemedicine. Next. You can see the apparatus there and the baby sitting. These are all, they look so tiny little babies. Next. And these are the mothers waiting for a check by the retinal surgeon because already they left the neonatal clinic. Now we are assessing in the tertiary care unit whether they need treatment or just to follow up and watch them closely. Next. This is actual surgical procedure is happening on the left side. You see the laser treatment, and the other one is doing in the operating room injection. Next. That is done with the anesthesia. Yeah, baby can cry a little bit. It's not terribly painful at all. People think in the eyeball, when the needle goes, the first layer is sensitive. inside the eye is not sensitive at all. Next. So this is an old statistic. Till now, almost we did so close to 7,000 babies in one area. Within Nepal and Calcutta, other regions, it's even more. I don't want to bore you with the statistics today, but what is important we want to do is, it is an incredibly cost-effective procedure, but it has, the screening has to be done. Telemedicine, once it is done, the doctor did not go there. And with this modern technology, modern resources, this is doable. Next. Our goal, no child should lose vision due to lack of ROP screening. Next. If the screening is not done, if the child gets into the bleeding and loses the vision, the eye can end up within about 6 months like that, with a pressure, and completely the eye is a disaster. Next. There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children by Nelson Mandela. Children are our most valuable natural resource. Herbert Hoover, president. So these are the twins. We did surgery some time ago. There is just one slide of movie, last slide, if you can bring it. Yeah, I don't think we need. Is it the bell is ringing, so my time is over? Am I right? I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. If you've said everything you want to say, well, let's make sure we have some good questions as well. Because
yeah, sure, there is one more, that is short video of a few seconds. Ritu, is it there?
Yes. Yes.
Allow
me.
Anyway, go ahead.
Allow me just a second. I have to stop sharing and then share again.
Please. I'm so glad to be here amongst all of you. This is the 46th year for the Eye Foundation of America. But I still remember, or I'll still say, according to Eastern philosophy, it is just the beginning. Pearl S. Buck, the Nobel laureate, is originally from West Virginia. She said, whenever you get a laureates, all the awards, it is a great opportunity to do more. This is a priceless thing we can do to the retinopathy of prematurity. And I wanted to say this is priceless. Together, if we Rotary International thinks, by within the next 5 years, there won't be a single baby on the planet who could have this procedure done and enjoy 75 years of productive life. Nothing is comparable to that. Is that the video, ma'am?
Yes, that's a 30-second video. Dr. Pauline, I'm going to play it now.
All right.
Yes, yes, please.
These are the kids. We got them in the first 3 days, and today, these are the 3 kids playing and going to school. You can see them. That's the reward to catching them early. That is screening, screening, screening. And we have resources today. We have the technology today. There's no more excuse. What is needed is collaboration, just like what we did with polio, period. Thank you. I'm very glad you paid attention to what I could speak here, and I hope we'll connect. I hope I'll come and meet you all in New Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you. That was so beautiful, and that a world without blindness is just wonderful mission. So who's got a question? Who's got a comment, or somebody would like to? Dr. Mike.
Yes, thank you, doctor. As an ichthyologist, myself dealing in fish, we have a limitation of oxygen of 10 parts per million. What is the limitation for the infant, since we're talking about too much of oxygen seems to be the issue?
Yeah, they usually put that pulse oximeter, and they will tell you they're all recommendations, they're all changing. From the beginning, they had some recommendation, then came to smaller and smaller doses. And I don't exactly remember exactly how much and all that with the pulse oximeter. There is a little table there according to the baby, how the baby's weight and how other parameters are there. They can control the next to it, the neonatal care. They have the table according to that they do it.
Thank you. And Quanta, you wrote here, children are our most valuable natural resource. And so deep thank you to Dr. Raju. But we were all children once, so it's a vital aspect. Are there any other questions? Marty?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Pauline. Dr. Raju, what is your advice for children as far as vitamins or foods to eat to maintain or improve eye health?
Yeah, in children, I'm generally, unless they are deficient of something, they have malabsorption syndrome and some medical condition, of course, supplements are definitely needed. Otherwise, because supplements is not the right thing to do. If the nutrition, basic nutrition is not that difficult, but made into a huge problem today in the modern world. But if the nutrition can be, the milk and peanuts and quite a few things, but our society has become such a confused society today. Eating a thing, it became a major issue. But in children, especially supplements, unless they have a medical condition, generally majority of the physicians and nutritionists and all the other people, unless they are interested in business, they don't advise. But in adults, it's different. People who are 60, 65, when you are living, there is a condition called macular degeneration. Any of us can get it, but there are certain ways we can really, truly not prevent. The chances will be much less by exercise, eating reasonably well, reasonable lifestyle, wearing sunglasses is a way that you can have the right lifestyle to prevent macular degeneration. Those people should take supplements. Vitamin A, if the people, it is a combination, not xanthine, other things are there too. There is a combination of vitamins. It is very all the time. It is advised on the TV. People, if somebody said there is a small chance of, suspicion of macular degeneration, adults taking other 50s and 60s and 70s, I think that is marvelous studies done in the National Institute for 10 years. Those people should definitely take that vitamin mainly for the macular degeneration. But generally, I think we all should think about how we can change or have a proper lifestyle. Otherwise, it's becoming all business, and business. There are 980, close to 1,000 companies making supplements today.
Yes, and they're making a lot of money. So thank you, Ritu, and then Aaron, and then Koda.
Yes, I just have a comment. Dr. Raju, thank you so much. And team, I had multiple occasions to meet Dr. Raju in person. I was also working with Rutgers Oral History of Immigrants, their accomplishments. So I learned quite a bit about Dr. Raju's journey as well as his work. Contribution he has made, I just want to let you know here, the slides here were mostly his work and his charitable hospitals in India. He has worked a lot of work. He has done a lot of work in Ghana, Iran, and some other South American, Caribbean countries. And as his work continues. I am so impressed as I met him in person a few times. He is such a humble human being despite his accomplishments. So, Dr. Raju, thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for what you do.
And thank you,
See-
Ritu. Aaron.
Golda Meir once said, the Golda Meir once said, don't be humble, you are not really that great. I think that's true.
We had a question from Aaron. Oh,
Yeah, Dr. Raju, I just wanted to know. I think you mentioned you had been working with Rotary for, you said 40 years. I was just curious on how you got started working with Rotary.
Yeah, in Vijayawada, in Andhra Pradesh, I think 30, 40, that district. Well, at one time, that was almost 1977, I was supposed to work another organization in India. Then I did not do much of ophthalmology in India, but on a vacation when I went once from London, I did all studies in London, and I found so many. One farmer came and asked me to look at his eyes, and I did not have any instruments, so I thought I would do a camp. Eye camps are a wonderful things to reach out, right? Even in this country, these are called what do they call, in malls? Anyway, the eye camps are outside the hospitals. You can screen them and do some treatment, and if there is a major problem, you bring to the hospital. So I wanted to go. Lions clubs are doing, but the last minute, some Lions club could not do it, and one Rotarian friend of mine, a doctor, said, no, we can do it. Then we started that way. Then it never allowed, because the Rotary, this four-way test is a most wonderful thing. So I got hooked with it. Then they gave me the four-way test. Then I did, and anyway, just with Canton, first one. That's why my mother used to say, whatever you do, once you like it, you keep on doing more and more and more. Watching football in this country, you do more and more and more. In India, watch cricket, you do more and more and more, and you will not have time for anything else. But for cricket, yes, you'll never say, I don't have time. That's how it started. And yeah, it's going. And I was in Israel at one time and a couple of times, and I connected with the Israelis, and we went to Palestine for a short visit, but the program did not work out.
fantastic. Does that answer your question, Aaron?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Quanta, our last question.
Thank you so much for helping the babies and saving them and giving them vision. That is true service to humanity. And I wanted to ask your permission, because I'm right now deeply involved in creating peace in the world, institutional, individual, and community levels, and through Rotary Action Group for Peace. And I really loved your statement that children are our natural resources that we must keep,
Greatest natural
So
resource. Yeah.
yes, and I'm sorry. I'd like to know why the visit to Israel and Palestine, helping the children there, didn't work out. If you can elaborate on that. And also, please, I'm begging you to be involved in peace so that we do not lose our children through deliberate attempts of killing them in wars. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, see, when you make the initial contacts, then there will be a lot of excitement from the other side. Then you keep, asking, yeah, like, when can we do this again? And when can I come? But they're all caught up with a lot of other things. And eye screening, eye treatment, maybe Raju, Eye Foundation, maybe 10th on their agenda. So they don't reply. I'll send another message through our ophthalmologist in the university there in Israel, incredible fellow. And then they send me a message, Raju, I'm trying to contact them, but I don't have any replies. So that's how things fade away when they don't reply to you. But I can understand that too. just vision of a child may not be for their priority at that time. They may have a lot of other just water or even running for their lives. Or, let me not go into that. Whenever you are trying to contact somebody and trying to do something, when there are no replies, then the projects slowly fade away. That's how it happened.
Thank you.
There is a
Thank-
need everywhere, but in the Palestine and all that, that can be a major issue. When there is a saying from the East, it takes two hands to make noise. You can't
Yes.
keep on blaming one side, and there is both. How can we do that? And well, that's the biggest thing today. I mean, there are 3 wars are going on in this world today, yet we have
Yeah.
incredible technology, medicine, and technology. We can make a baby outside the womb today. We have
Yes.
all the genes mapped. In ophthalmology, I tell you, in spite of premature babies, I said, you can be a baby that was born without eyeballs at all, leave alone premature, no eyeballs. You can put a bionic eye. The technology and resources are there. And that bionic eye may not be like a normal eye, but that baby or child can walk through the doors, can see the window independently. That's a bionic eye. When people with the diabetes and all these diseases bleed into the eye,
Yeah.
the eye is lost, we can put stem cells and make them see vision them again. So one is bionic eye, next is stem cell, third one is gene therapy. Child born with a gene, we can translocate the gene, replace the gene. Almost nobody needs to be blind today if we all agree with each other, collaborate with each other, and really to do it. I don't know when it will happen, but we keep trying. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Raju. And I think we're all agreed that this is absolutely amazing work. And the thought of being able to save everybody's eyes and everybody to be able to see is just a wonderful thing. There are so many aspects of our world that we need to resolve. And we all really applaud your work. And thank you for being here.
At that time, my favorite sentence, I need to say that 80% of our learning is through vision. Children should not miss that. 80% of our learning is through vision. And the World Bank said one of the most cost-effective health interventions in the world is giving vision to the children. A 70-year-old gets blind, is important too, but 70, 75-year-old person becomes blind. Within the next 3 to 5 years, they're not there anymore. But a child becomes blind in their infancy with all the vaccinations. They're going to live for 75 years. Those 75 blind years in a child is different from a 75-year-old getting blind.
Absolutely. And we take your message in our hearts, and we thank you for being here. And everybody, we give you a very big round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Glad to be here.
And anything that we can do to spread the word, we will do. I personally am very embracing education and opening the minds and hearts of everybody in the world. And as you say, for children to be able to learn, being able to see is a vital part. And then for them to be able to touch the hearts of everybody. And we need to understand that the new generations see the world differently to maybe those of my age, and be aware and open our hearts to new ways. We have a world at war, and we're here to serve and to care and to love and to respect. So thank you. Thank you.
Very good. You all said the care is the word. I'll say share to care.
Share to care. Thank you. Just going to ask Marty to explain to Quanta asked as well what the 50-50, your beautiful picture there, Marty. We got the 50-50 draw. I missed the message in the chat. Where was it? June the 11th. Oh, yes. So we have a 50-50 draw, and this means that you can buy a ticket. Anybody can. You can too. Dr. Raju, we open this up to not just to Rotary members, but to guests. And that we draw it on June the 11th, and 50% of the collected money goes to the winner. And Shankar was the winner of the first draw, and he very graciously donated $50 into Rotary. So there's a beautiful circular effect going on.
I will be donating $50. I'll send a check. Can I do that?
Yes, Marty.
Yeah.
I'll read
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know Dr. Mike, who is the chairperson of the foundation, will appreciate it. Or if you would like to work with us to go online, we can do that online as well. You're exactly right, Pauline. The 50-50 has begun again. The next drawing will be June 11th of next year. And Shankar won, of course, this year. And he didn't want the money, so he became the club's hero. He had no interest in the money printed by the humans with different colors and different faces on front of the paper. And he said, let me just give this to the environment. So that was his choice to give it to the environment. That was done yesterday. And then the club is continuing to make money with 50-50. So this is what allowed us to donate to disaster assistance in Gaza, $200. And we also had a $100 donation for her sister, Doris Elaine Smar's sister, has polio and was struck as a child with it. And so she would like to be a guest speaker in the future. We'll put her through the guest speaker process on the website. And she donated $100 in her sister's name towards polio. So that was all of the donations processed yesterday at Rotary's Foundation with either my personal credit card, if you guys got the video I sent showing all the cash, or with the club's credit card, obviously, in Shankar's donation. He never actually received his winnings. He just wanted to donate it back to the foundation. And that is the assistant treasurer's report for this week.
Thank you. And we do have to do some work on gathering Rotary dues. Yes, Marty, to make sure that we come up to the right place by the end of December. So we will talk about that outside the meeting. I just wanted to, if there's any other comments anybody wants to put in there. Marty's put the comments in the chat. If you need to see that the club is putting money into the cover, so we continue to donate to Gaza, Ukraine, Turkey, Puerto Rico, Florida, Maui, Pakistan, Morocco, and Tunisia. Everywhere in the world needs help, but it's good to focus on specific areas. As we just have 8 minutes left on the meeting, I wondered if we should just review a thought that I had when I've been talking to both to members and to prospective members of the club. Our club is very different to a local club that meets regularly in situ over food, sitting in a venue. And I have visited 3 clubs now in Las Vegas. So as a member of the Rotary Club of Global Impact, we can actually go and invite or ask to be invited to any local club. And I'm not sure that every member actually realizes the benefit of this. I know that we don't always get every member turning up at our meetings here. And it's always wonderful to see all of you. But I want to be able to persuade many of the members who don't turn up regularly to come along. If we were a local club, as I've experienced in Las Vegas, then everybody has to turn up 3 times a month or 4 times even, and they get involved in local projects. I think the projects we get involved in are fantastic, but sometimes I feel it's a challenge to share that with all the members who are not here at the moment. So I'm recording this and we'll post it up on the Rotary Club of Global Impact YouTube channel. And I'd like us to maybe have some conversations with members who aren't here about the advantages in their own locality of visiting local clubs. I don't know whether anybody else has a view on that, but I think I was talking, for instance, to Carolina in Chile, and asking her how often she went to her local clubs, because sometimes one can feel isolated being a member of a club like this where we don't meet actually in person. And she didn't really, she didn't have the nerve to go to some of these clubs because she felt they were a bit exclusively male. That was a particular issue for her. So I was encouraging her to do that, because I think the way we spread our largesse as the Rotary Club of Global Impact is to go and visit local clubs as well. I would love to know anybody's view on that, and whether or not you have done that in your local area, just to visit other clubs. Dr. Mike.
Thank you, Dr. Pauline. Yes, what I find interesting when I visit other clubs, and most recently in 2 weeks ago, of course, in Lake Wales, Florida, they have 3 clubs here established already. So you can like spread across, whether you want to go in the morning, whether you want to go in the evening. There's a lot of opportunities to interact with those clubs. Also, you know, we do the 50-50. I know one club in the local area, they do a once-a-year calendar where they turn to vendors locally and then have a raffle on those calendars. Now, you'd say a once-a-year calendar raises as much as $25,000. So let's watch this 50-50 as it starts to grow. And it's going to grow from every one of us. And then inviting people when you go to these clubs, because we are an online platform, and bringing them in as guests, and they'll find the ability to do that gives them a tremendous amount of flexibility. And they also take some of our ideas and implement them in clubs, because they also try to invite people online in early morning, and you can still see the transition being made. So they would love to hear from our members here. I truly believe that.
Thank you. Thank you. I found that when I say, if I go to a local club and I say I'm president of the Rotary Club of Global Impact, we have members across the world, people are always fascinated. So I think we need to encourage our members to do that more. Anybody else like to comment?
Yeah, I just would like to say it's so much fun. What I focus on really is district events, because when you look at your districts all around you, I've been analyzing clubs and the district events in South Carolina, right across my border. But I go to a lot of different clubs around here with Stormy, anything from luncheons to banquets, dinners, river cleanup projects, the diaper bank we've been to many times. Of course, all types of tree planting and sapling events, and then serving a breakfast, you know, to the homeless and poor on Christmas morning in Charlotte is very big here. So I encourage people to go onto your district website where you live and look at their calendar, because those are mega events, and they'll announce when you're at the event, whether it's a banquet dinner or a gala ball or a golf outing, you know, they'll announce, like today we have 28 different clubs here, and the Strange Club, the Rotary Club of Global Impact across the world is here. And so you can really have a lot of fun going to district events.
Yes. Thank you, Marty. And I think I do think it's something that we can do a little bit of a campaign when we're talking to our members about renewing their dues and helping them understand that once you're a Rotarian, you're a Rotarian. So it's not only being inside this club, it's actually being part of the bigger entity. Aaron.
Hey, I just wanted to see if we have enough people to do that vote, since this will be our last meeting of the year. So we need 6 people total to vote on using the club account to receive the $1,000 donation from a gentleman in New Jersey, so we can use that money to ship the aid that we collect at the Dare to Care drive.
I think it was clarified with Marty and Dr. Miguel that receiving we don't have to get votes on, and if I believe what was that if if the donor specifies that this is what they want the money to go in writing, that's good enough. But I believe we're gonna make like a donation button, Marty, right? We were working on that. That is gonna have a preference there that people could just write a notation. I want this money to just go straight to the club or specifically for this, and then we don't have to, we could bypass the vote, Aaron. We just discovered that. Me and Marty could take it over, Marty.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's true, Patty. I was on the phone yesterday with DAC-DB, and in fact, Shanker was in on that call. We were working on sending out the 2-year report with newsletter and Bolton. Everybody should have received. Did you receive that by email, Patty?
I have to double check.
Okay. Did anybody else receive the massive 2-year report by email yesterday?
I'll check.
It depends
We
what
sent
time it went out. It depends if it went out like after 3, then I didn't look at it yet.
Yeah, it was after 3. So, but we got that done and a bunch of other maintenance done, and they did confirm we can either receive obviously the money via Zelle, any number of mechanisms through Bank of America. They can easily do just a payment. So there's lots of simple ways for them with Zelle and Bank of America to donate money. And just keep in mind that we are a 501c4, just recently re-registered again with our Form 990N as in November, which is publicly available for anybody to view at the IRS. But we are not a 501c3, so the individual, I know Aaron knows this already, and he's informed the individual that they would not be receiving a tax benefit letter. It's very important that people aren't thinking they're going to get a tax benefit letter for their CPA. In the best instance, the district here, we also have a DAF fund, a donor advisory fund. And if they would like to receive a tax letter, they can do it that way. But that puts the money into the DAF, and typically they would need to put an annotation, that this is for the shipping of clothes. And so when that happens, technically, the fund, then the donor advisory fund at district can only give the money under law to a 501c3. So that in itself also creates a problem. You then have to go around and rummage around and hunt around to try and find a 501c3. So I think what we decided was the clearest, easiest, quickest way, simplest to deal with, was just for your donor to make the donation. And we are now going to be adding a donation button to the website, because that's been a consistent and continuous question for about 2 months to DAC-DB. You guys may know that here in Charlotte is where DAC-DB is. It has a new owner who Pauline met out in California at Pets Training. And so we keep asking, like, hey, we could set up a donation button in 4 minutes on PayPal, but then it processes the transaction through a different methodology. We'd love to just use our credit card payment processor right now, which is Payment Factory, which is the authorized DAC-DB credit card processor. How come you guys don't have a payment utility where people can make donations? And so DAC-DB is working on that aggressively. But in the meantime, we have devised a workaround, very similar to the 50/50. But what I want to do, Aaron, is I just want to make sure that maps to the correct donation account within our accountancy module, so that money doesn't go into like the 50/50 accountancy. And I'll probably get that done today or tomorrow. But in the meantime, if they just wanted to donate via Zelle or Bank of America, we can do that here in 5 minutes when we get off.
Okay, cool. Also, do we need to vote on making this an official club thing, the Dare to Spare, using the logo? Is there any more red tape before, I can pull the trigger and start running to other clubs to try to get partners?
I don't think so. It's up to Pauline.
Yeah, shall we take this after the meeting? Just Quanta wanted to say something, and
I won't be able to stay because I'm going to be running late for another appointment I have at 12:30. However, I just want to add to the foundation conversation before we pass it over. Dr. Mike, you might want to back me up on this, but I lost there we go. That if there is a donor that is wanting to, like, take donations, like, and start with a $10,000 donation, then we will have our own club foundation donor advisory fund, and then we could tap into that money directly without having to ask district permission. Is that correct, Dr. Mike? And correct me wherever I went a little wrong.
That's right. It was on the WhatsApp thread, and for IRS purposes, that would open us up, and we could draw it down without any penalties, so we could work off that $10,000 and maintain our status in the process. So yes, you are correct. That's one avenue to take. And then, of course, until, maybe we'll build up to $10,000 and then just do it automatically with the club. Yes.
Oh, just as Quanta is really keen to say something.
Thank you very much. I appreciate if, anyway, what I would like to say is that, in my experiences for 7 years as a Rotarian, it creates a goodwill if we try to get the consensus of the club itself rather than bypassing and making unilateral decisions about how we distribute the funds. It creates unity, it creates harmony, and it creates goodwill. So I just wanted to share that please be careful about not bypassing the club members and getting their opinions as well. Again, that creates love and unity between us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Quanta. I think, as one of our challenges is getting every member to come along and to be present, other than being on a WhatsApp. But at the moment, let's take a time check. This is the end of the recording of the meeting, which I will put up on the YouTube channel. So thank you all for being here. And I think our speaker had to go, but he was absolutely delightful. And I hope that the other members who are not here will watch that when it's up on the YouTube channel. So I'm just going to stop the recording.